After a number of years of assisting Dolores and doing hundreds of QHHT sessions, it became very clear that many clients came to their sessions with very specific expectations about what they would personally experience. Here in this video from our archives, Dolores herself addresses client expectations and asked me to read an excerpt from one of her books to accompany this video.
I've been told that many of the people who come for sessions with the different practitioners are coming with some very high expectations and expectations that are not realistic. Sure, they read my books and you think these certain things are going to happen. It's not going to happen to everybody because we're too individualistic. Too many people out there, we can't all fit the pattern. So they all think they're going to drop off the deep end and go unconscious. They think they're not going to remember anything. And a lot of them think they're going to get convoluted universe material. Instead they get digging potatoes material, which means a simple ordinary life. Because 90% of the past lives that are going to be covered with the practitioners are going to be simple, dull, boring, ordinary. That's why I call them digging potatoes lives. And a lot of the clients come expecting this wonderful material that comes out in my books, convoluted form material. That doesn't happen with everybody. It depends on the development of the person. It depends on what they're looking for. Depends on what that subconscious part of them thinks they need to see and what they need to have for their lives now, in this life right now. Maybe a tremendous convoluted force session with all this wonderful information is not going to benefit the average client. That's not what their information is. It may be just a dull, boring life that they have to go through that has the same people in it, the same karmic connections. There's always something in there that they need to know. And the subconscious always knows when it picks that life for them to see. I always say it's the most appropriate life. So I don't want the clients coming with these big expectations. You will get what you need. And I've had clients that come in and when we're doing a discussion, they'll say, well, am I going to remember anything or not? And I always tell them, I don't know. We just got to see what's going to happen. So don't come with too high of expectations. You will get what you're supposed to get to help you in this life. That's the important thing. Candace is going to be reading a portion of my book, Convoluted Universe Book 4, to you, dealing with healing. This would be important for you to know about before you book a session.
The healing work. As much as I desire to help every client that comes to see me, there are times when it simply just doesn't work. They are able to get to the deep level of trance and the cause of their problems, usually physical, is discovered, and the SC works with great love to heal them, gives them wonderful, sound advice. Yet afterwards they will insist that nothing happened, that they were not helped. In fact, some say they are worse than they were before coming. Sometimes, and these are rare cases, it works for a short while and then returns. It may be months later that I hear of this, and of course, they blame me. That is much easier than admitting that they are the cause of their own problems, including physical. It is always easier to put the blame outside themselves rather than acknowledging that they have created their own reality. And even though their reality is not pleasant, it is what they have manifested. This is the power of the human mind. This is why the power should be used to heal rather than be destructive. They come to see me with such out of proportion expectations. They are looking for someone else to heal them. I try to make it clear that I don't do the healing. They do. I am only the facilitator to allow the SC to come through and to do the work. I teach this in my classes, that the minute the student thinks that they are doing the work, then it is their own ego, and this will hinder the whole process. I am only a willing servant to aid the process. These cases are rare, but they do happen. We all have free will, and no one can override that. The SC may say the person is healed and should be able to pursue a normal life, but if the clients themselves won't accept it, believe it, and trust it, there is nothing anyone can do. The free will is foremost. After one session, the client said, "I do feel better. There's no more pain, but I know it's too good to be true. It will return." Another one said, "I can't be healed. I've been sick all of my life. I will never be well." All self-fulfilling prophecies. If the client wishes to continue in that reality, even though they stubbornly say they don't want it, there is nothing that I can do about it. There is also the possibility of self-punishing over some perceived guilt. People are complicated creatures. I have found that after working with them for over 40 years, and sometimes the thing they are punishing themselves for was long forgotten and buried in the unconscious memories, yet they have turned themselves into the victim. I just got off the phone with a client I saw a few months ago, and she spent almost an hour screaming at me. "I came to you because you said you could heal me, and I'm not healed. I'm worse than I was before." In the first place, I would never, ever say I could heal them because I know that is not possible. I do not have that type of power. In the second place, the final result lies with them and their belief system. There was so much anger in that person's voice. I could only sense why she didn't want to release the illness or why she thought she was unable to. Anger at what she perceived was the cause of her predicament. Anger at her parents for the way they had treated her. Anger for the doctors who'd not been able to help her. And anger at me for not being able to take it all away. The cause of their problems always has to be something outside of themselves. It hurts too much and takes too much responsibility to admit the cause might be within themselves. It's easier to play the victim role. "Poor me, you don't understand how horrible I've been treated," etc., etc. We know in metaphysics, and especially in my type of work, that we made a plan and contracts before coming into this life. We agreed to the type of situation we would live in, even though sometimes, as we have been warned by our guides, our decisions would be difficult. Yet we insist and hope for the best. Because we forget our plan once we enter the physical body, we forget that we arranged things that happened to us in order to learn from them. If we don't learn, then we have to take the lesson over again. This is the law of karma. And this is the way the Earth School is run. You have to come back again and do it all over with the same people, same circumstance until you have passed that grade in school. It is complicated, but then again, I don't make the rules. I just try to help people understand what they are doing to themselves. There are other people who really don't want to be healed because they secretly enjoy the illness and what it does for them. They would never admit this consciously, but we all know people who are always sick and complaining about the newest pain, symptom, or medicine the doctor has put them on. They secretly enjoy the attention it gives them. Usually these types of people have nothing else in their lives and they enjoy the attention. If you were to heal them, take it away, you would really be taking away their identity. And they would feel they had nothing. It is the only thing that makes them feel special and different. And if the person is benefiting from the illness, they will be reluctant to release it. In my work on the life of Jesus and the Essenes, and they walked with Jesus, I found that not even Jesus could heal everyone, no matter what the church leads you to believe. He could look at a person and see why he had the illness. And if it was because of karma, he could not take it away. He could relieve pain, but he was forbidden to interfere with their path, their plan. So if he couldn't do it, why do I think I have the power to override the person's free will? After one trying day when I had spent 4 or 5 hours with a client, I left my office depressed and wondering if I was really helping anyone. I'm sure any therapist, healer, doctor, or psychiatrist has felt occasionally the same way. And when I got in my car, I heard as plain as day in my head, "Your responsibility ends when the client walks out the door. If you truly believe that you've done everything that you can do to the best of your ability, then the rest is up to them." That made all the difference and lifted a load off my shoulders. As much as I truly want to help everyone, in the end, it is not my responsibility. They have to be ready to accept it, want it, believe it, and allow it to happen. No one else can do that for them. I love working with the SC, but in the end, it can only do so much. It is forbidden to override free will. So for the client that I just spoke to who is so upset, I can only send her love and hope she wakes up to the power she has within her and allow herself to be healed. Maybe that is her lesson in all of this, to learn to trust herself and not depend on others to do what she is able to do herself. That would be a wonderful and important lesson. Also, to all of my thousands of students who've taken my classes, I say, do the best you can. Have compassion for the client and try all of your skills to help them. Then after that, it is their responsibility.